Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. I'm James, the founder of Intuitive Wholeness here in the serene, soul soothing Bluff Park area of Long Beach, California. My practice is rooted in love, awareness, and transformation. And today I want to gently invite you into the world of clinical hypnotherapy as I offer it through a sacred, holistic lens. I specialize in working with adult clients 18 and older, both in person at my tranquil home studio just steps from the Pacific Ocean and online via FaceTime for clients throughout the US. Whether you're with me in person or connecting virtually, the healing is just as real, just as deep, and just as safe. Now let me paint a picture of the space that you will be entering. My home is a historic craftsman sanctuary filled with warmth, character, and intention. You'll find yourself gently reclining in a soft leather chair or curling up on the couch wrapped in a cozy blanket if you like. There's an eye pillow for deep relaxation. I have temperature control, air filtration to ensure that you breathe easy, and I offer spa water and organic teas before or after your session. Everything is designed to support your calm and your healing and your spiritual sovereignty. Your first session with me is about 90 minutes. This is where we begin your story. I do a lot of surveying first, and we talk heart to heart. I gather a thorough understanding of your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual state, your habits, health, any medications you're taking, diet, sleep, your dreams, stresses in your life, even before we begin. This is not just hypnosis, it's an intuitive opportunity for healing. Subsequent sessions with me last about 45 minutes, and we can continue working on deeper transformation. I often prescribe some gentle homework that's easy to do, journaling, breath work. I'm also a Bach flower essence practitioner, and sometimes if I feel it's needed, I can prescribe that for you that are personalized formulas to aid in whatever you're dealing with. And also, about us making some possible life adjustments. My approach is fully customized to you, and also, on your specific path of liberation. And yes, if you live across the country, I again do online hypnotherapy through FaceTime. It's just as effective and deeply connecting. As long as your camera can pick up on you where I can watch you and your internet is solid, you're good to go. Between those sessions with my clients that I see throughout the US, you are always welcome to message me, and I take either personal messages on my cell phone, or a lot of people can just send me something through Facebook messaging, and I can get back with you shortly. There's often a lot of breakthroughs and things that we can do together. Also, just so you know too, I have a whole collection of other therapists and people I work with, which include Chinese acupuncture, and herbology for medications, cupping, things like halotherapy, which is the saltwater therapy, infrared, massage therapists, spiritual practitioners. Just depending on what your needs are, I work with a team as well if you need that. And I can refer you out. And even if you're in another state, I'm connected throughout the whole US, so I can help find the practitioners you might need in addition to the work we're doing. Okay? Now a little bit about my training. I am a proud graduate with highest honors from the Hypnosis Motivation Institute in Tarzana, California, one of the most respected hypnotherapy schools in the world. And actually, John Kappas was the founder of clinical hypnotherapy. And that was his school. I hold a diploma in clinical hypnotherapy, graduated in 2006, along with specialized certifications in past life regression, which is something that I mostly known for, timeline therapy, Ericksonian and Kaposian hypnosis, And also, I sometimes in my sessions use music and tonal therapy. I use what's called infratonic if you're dealing with pain issues. I have a whole modality just depending on, what your needs are. I'm also a Reiki master, and I sometimes use my, healing arts in your therapy if you need it or you request it. Okay, so another gift that I do, like I was mentioning, is I do Bach flower essence therapy, and these are personalized. They're not like just going and buying rescue remedy on the market. I really look at all of your patterns and create an essence. Remember, essences too is not medication. So if you are on a medication, this is natural, holistic, but does aid in the enhancement of whatever you're working towards. And usually the add-on for that runs about $40 to $60 depending on how specialized your formula is. And you will receive a tincture bottle that looks something like this. This is what, that's a bottle of flower essences like this will last you usually 3 to 6 months or even a year depending on your dosage. Okay, so it's a really cost-effective addition to any therapy, okay, and so forth. And I studied Bach flowers and essences and herbology for literally 5 years. So this is a specialty that I do. There's not too many people that do that anymore with local, like I said, psychologists. Other practitioners usually are not schooled in this, okay? So this might be a good enhancement if that's something you're interested in. I do now specialize in a vast range of assisting you on specific issues. So let me just tell you of a few things that I work with people on. One is performance enhancement. So I work a lot with musicians, actors, athletes, creatives, getting ready for international competitions, the Olympics, big performances, getting over performance anxiety. Another thing, a little bit about my background is I also have a second business called Spencer Artist Development, where I am an arts educator, teaching acting, voiceover, and music, and I have been a performer, concert pianist for many years. So back in my youth, I went through a period of anxiety disorder. Part of it was biological, part of it was just patterns. And it was very interesting that I worked with my first hypnotherapist that healed me from that. And that's how I became interested in hypnotherapy, specifically how it relates to performers that are under a lot of pressure. Some of my clients include, performers for international piano competitions like the Van Cliburn, people getting ready for Broadway shows, actors getting ready for productions, things like that. Okay, but performance enhancement can be for anyone. Maybe you are just performing lower than you would like to in your business. Maybe you're having stage fright or self-sabotage in a creative area. So that falls under performance enhancement. Another area, again, related, is stage fright and performance anxiety. So I cover that. It's very interesting, by the way. So when I was at the Hypnosis Motivation Institute, a lot of people might not know that Florence Henderson, who is, of course, everybody knows her as the actress who played, Mrs. Brady on The Brady Bunch, right? And she's also had a background before that in musical theater, in several musical theater movies, including like Sound of Norway, so forth. So she, in the 80s, after the breakup of Brady Bunch, was dealing with anxiety, and she started to study hypnotherapy with John at HMI, and they married. So I got to know Florence. And what was very interesting, when I was doing my studies in my labs, a lot of very famous performers, including Cher, Donny Osmond, people like that would be going to HMI to work with their hypnotherapist before humongous productions. Cher specifically did this before her big, Vegas engagements and things, and so it's very powerful, and so forth. Another thing is memory enhancement. So some people might just naturally have test anxiety. Audition anxiety could be like kids getting ready for SAT tests, memorizing scripts, that kind of thing. And I work with memory enhancement. Also, I do understand, that certain people have different learning styles. I do work with people on the spectrum, which is one of my specialties too, people with autism, Asperger's, in how to refrain specific things while we heal things to help that. So I've had a lot of actors, performers, people that work with me that are on the spectrum. And in fact, if you've ever seen the TV show Love on the Spectrum, which is on Netflix, I've worked with a few of those people as well. Okay, expanding your self-worth and confidence, and that could be something very important. And a lot of times our family patterns, our emotional patterns can affect how we feel about ourselves, and so we can work on releasing trauma, building that. One for a lot of people, especially right now with things feeling a little bit unsafe in the world, is abundance and money consciousness. And a lot of people have been brought up, which is so much tragic energy around that. People struggling, past life stuff, to where you just can't get ahead. You're always struggling, you lose your job, you're always in debt. So I have a full game plan on that that works very, very well to turn that around. And I've been very successful with that, including in my own life. Many years ago, actually, when I was doing my schooling, I went through, over $70,000 worth of student loan debt, and struggle in debt, and even at one time many years ago, even a bankruptcy, and started completely over, build that up to be unlimitedly very comfortable and abundant, no debt, and so forth. So I have a lot of skills that work for that as well. Another one is career and life purpose discovery. And here's the deal: when you have a career that you're passionate about, where it's really what you love, you attract happiness, health, money. When you hate your job and you're like, oh God, I gotta go to work today, you're not living your life purpose. And many people feel stuck. They feel like I hate my job, I can't seem to get ahead. And I am very good about helping people find their life purpose. And as an entrepreneur with my other business, is how to wean yourself off from the work you hate into owning your own business and doing the work you love. And that's something I specialize in. And there's a lot of great hypnotherapists that can work with you on finding your purpose, but they don't have the background I have in entrepreneurship and business. So that's where those skills can be very helpful to you. So I'm one of the few people that I know about here in Southern California that does that specific thing. And so forth, okay? Emotional and ancestral healing. This gets into the past life stuff, but what it means is that a lot of us have family wounds, we have patterns. Why is it that in some families, there's an alcoholic grandfather, an alcoholic father, an alcoholic son, he passes it on, lineage after lineage, it just runs in the family. And how do you break that pattern? For others, it might be just, poverty and never getting out of that. For others, it might be addictions. Why is it, in specific things, or marriages that don't work out, where every marriage, from, lineage is divorce, problems. Others, it's abuse. Others, it's victimization. Others, it's health issues. So I'm very good with that. I usually recommend past life regression. We can look at those patterns and heal them up and clear them. Okay, so that's very powerful. Another thing that I specialize in is I work very much here in Long Beach with the LGBT community and specific issues that deal with that, which could be like healing religious trauma, which was mine. Like a lot of people, have been shunned by their church or abused, things like that. And I can help with that trauma. I can help with assisting LGBT with coming out support, relationship navigation, finding spiritual sovereignty as an LGBT when a lot of times people are shunned from churches and spiritual organizations. So, that tends to be a specific issue. With LGBT, making good choices. A lot of LGBT, we know there's the club cultures, addictive behaviors that come with that, sexual addiction. So those are things that I can work with, rebalancing into healthier choices and things like that. I also work with the emotional components of having HIV, fears that come with that, and so forth. Okay, and that moves into fears and phobias. So those are things I also assist with, which can be anything from like fear of flying, claustrophobia, specific situations. Many people have some form of phobia in certain areas, but then it's like, how do you minimize it, or how do you change the pattern so when you're in a situation, it's much calmer. Okay. One that's very important is addiction release. So that can be, giving up smoking, for alcoholics, toxic eating patterns, sexual compulsions, those kind of things. One thing I do, for those who are interested, is I'm also a plant-based nutritionist, and I've written several books on that. So I also show people how to wean themselves off more toxic food patterns into healthier food choices and things like that. For my own self, by doing this, I'm 57 years old now, and I haven't had to take Western medicine at all in 20 years. And I rarely get sick. I'll get a cold or something, but I haven't had a bronchitis. I don't have any heart issues, don't have any cancer or problems like that. And so I show people how to move towards that if that is right for you. There's a lot of times people have tried other avenues and are like, I'm sick of taking Western meds, or I feel like I'm just a number with my doctor. I'm trying to heal up a specific issue. This is the thing. A lot of Western doctors treat the symptom. The minute you go into a Western doctor, it's sort of like, let's get you on this drug, right? And they're not necessarily addressing the underlying components, and there are emotional and components to all health issues, and a lot of people don't want to look at that. But the ones that are open to that, I find, have miraculous healings and things. Or it can be assistance in your healings. Like I had a lady who came to me for lung cancer that she was trying to release. And she was going the Western route, but then she also started to look into holistic, changing diet and different things. And then we worked on the emotional aspects that led to the pattern of lung cancer. And I think it was the combination of everything she did. I can't take 100%, for her healing, but I believe it was a catalyst where she was having trouble healing, and then we did this in addition to what she was doing and new approaches, and she did recover from lung cancer, and that's, to me, amazing. So I also assist with creative activation. So like maybe you're just like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, I'm retired, I feel lonely, I need to get into a hobby or something. And I help people find creative activation and expressive freedom. Also, one thing I work with is what's called taboo release. And these are things that are boundaries placed on us that can be affecting our life. I had, like, for example, one man that was suffering from prostate cancer. And the pattern that led to it is his whole, like, he got older, and it's like, men, I'm a good Christian, men are not supposed to masturbate, and men are not supposed to do this. And he was holding this energy in his body, and we released that taboo while he was in therapy for his prostate cancer and got over it. And it was caught without needing surgery, mind you, or chemo. That's pretty amazing. So usually that's the, progression for people with prostate cancer. So it was pretty amazing. And so, like I said, this can be very healing. Also, it could be about boundary setting. Are you one of these people pleasers that puts, everybody else's needs ahead of your own, and until you're depleted and sick? So I can help people with setting appropriate boundaries, also releasing people in your life with love that are not serving you. So you get the toxic drama out of your life. And nowadays, especially with what's happening in our government and things, there's a lot of toxic fear-based energy feeding and toxic people. And are you going to engage in that and work yourself up into a frenzy? Or are you going to say, I'm going to choose not to be part of that? And that's a choice. So I help people with making great choices. Okay, so this is also like clearing the psychic vampires, toxic energies. Some people have a problem with discipline and focus. Are you one of those people that stays up to 3 a.m. and then you sleep until noon? You sometimes have breakfast, you sometimes don't. You skip a meal. You're just sometimes you exercise, sometimes you don't, and you're just all over the place. I'm really good about looking at not only your emotional patterns, but your physical patterns, your neurotransmitter chemicals, all of that, and saying, let's get you on a disciplined lifestyle that works for you. Now, for me, I'm a morning person. That's what works for me. I like to be up at 5:30 and get my day started. Other people, though, are completely opposite of me. Maybe they are a night person. They're on a different, biological timeline. So those are things we look at. Okay, I can assist with pain management through, we do deep breathing and different sessions. Also different holistic things that assist in pain management. I have some other modalities I use that are very effective. One is called infratonic technology, which I use, which was created by the Chi Institute, which is similar to ultrasound, where it's a vibrational energy that attunes to your body to bring it back into balance. So it can bring physical things back into balance, but also the emotional. So it can help you, release trapped resentment, trapped anger, trapped sadness. Very, very effective, and it's non-invasive. I can use the machine for that, the Infratonic 7 that I use, and put that on you during a session or whatever if you choose. Okay, so that can be very useful. Also, I help a lot of people that are like me, very creative intuitives, psychics, empaths. That empaths tend to absorb other people's energy. So you need to learn how to protect that. So if you're one of those people that feel just very affected by the world, it's like, okay, what are techniques that you can learn to heal that? Okay, so those are just some of the things I do. I also use handwriting analysis and other intuitive tools to identify what's called your hypnotic suggestibility and tailor the session to your unique inner language. Okay, so there's what are called physical suggestibles and emotional suggestibles. Physicals respond to commands. Your eyes are getting sleepy. Your breath is slowing, and they respond to commands. Others respond to the inferred tone. You might notice you're breathing deeper. It's a different approach. And I'm able to identify that approach with you specifically and how to take you under safely. This is why people who don't do this style, which is the Kaposian hypnosis, this is why some people say, oh, I can't be hypnotized. Usually the person that hypnotized you only knows physical suggestibility. That's why. Okay, there are very few people in the world that can't be hypnotized. They're what are called 50-50 somnambulists. They're basically already in a hyper state, and they usually have mental illness that's very heavy. They're schizophrenics. And those people need, before they can be hypnotized, they need to work with a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Sometimes they have to be on special medications. They have to do deeper medical things before they can be hypnotized. Actually, a lot of people ask me, well, what if I, suffer with Asperger's or, ADHD or different things like that? Most of the time, about 98% of the time, you're hypnotizable. Okay, but feel free to ask and tell me about your situation. Okay, let's see. So and then with the handwriting analysis, I'm just going to talk about that. Is when I have you fill out a questionnaire, handwriting analysis also reveals your suggestibility. And specific things going on. Are you healthy, or are you at a place of borderline, panic disorder, manic depressive, suicidal, physical health issues show up in writing that you might not be diagnosed, and you might not know that part of your anxiety is due to low blood sugars, things like that, diabetes. Other issues going on, which then can be a clue to go get checked out. I had that happen many times where someone thought they were healthy, but I was having anxiety. And it turned out they were having a medical issue. And when it's caught early, that's important. Like, you want to catch diabetes and heart disease and potential for stroke and those kind of things early. Okay, good. So anyway, all sessions are by appointment only. I unfortunately do not accept insurance, Venmo, or credit cards, or PayPal. I do cash or Zelle only. Okay, to book or schedule a complimentary consult with me, simply call and text my number, which is 562-394-2694. I'll put it at the end of this video. And like I said, please note I work usually only with adults. If you do have a child or someone and you really want me to see them, I sometimes, it just depends, if I take on, children or whatever. And usually if I take on a child, I usually want a parent present. I'm schooled in that. Like I said, I prefer to work mostly with adults. Okay? Great. And for those who are called to do this kind of work themselves, to become a certified hypnotist, clinical hypnotherapist, psychic light worker, practitioner, that kind of thing, is I do have certification programs I offer quarterly. The clinical hypnotherapy hypnotism programs are based on the same kind of certifications through HMI, Hypnosis Motivation Institute, but I'm able to do that without the exorbitant cost. So yes, if you really want the best, then you're going to have to spend, for the few years of school. But my course runs 3 months. And it's very thorough and will give you all the skills to open up your own business. And again, with Spencer Artist Development, being an artist developer, I can also, after you get certified with me, work with you on the business. Like I do website packaging, branding, how to find clients, how to set up a home studio policies, all of that. Okay? At Intuitive Wholeness Healing, it's not just about fixing what's wrong. It's about remembering who you are. You're a divine soul, a creative light, and a powerful being with the ability to change your reality from the inside out. Okay, so thank you for listening, and I look forward to connecting with you if this resonates with you and guiding you into the wholeness that is already within you. Again, to schedule a consult or session with me, call 562-394-2694. This is Intuitive Wholeness. I'm James Spencer. Much love. Take care.